What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I decided to do something a little different today. I decided to talk about the Annabelle doll while I did my makeup, just to kind of give kind of a new twist on, videos. And I'm not just talking about makeup, I'm talking about something exciting or that at least interests me. So if you want to, learn about the real Annabelle story and not just what we see in the movies, hang tight and see me do an epic fail and all the struggle I had to go through for this look. Hang tight because it's very interesting. So the story starts in 1917. We start off with this girl named Donna. Now Donna was a nurse, at a hospital, and she lived with her roommate Angie, who was also a nurse, and Angie's fiance Lou. Now Donna was gifted the doll from her mom for her birthday, and she just found the Annabelle doll at a Hobby Lobby. So, Donna's gifted the doll, she loves it, she's so excited, right on mom, you go mom, and she takes the doll home. Now, Annabelle stayed in Donna's room, obviously, but they started having some funky things start going on. So at first, the doll's head would move, and then it was looking up instead of down, or its arm was in a different position, and it got so bad to the point to where the doll was on its side laying down. She would actually be kneeling on a chair, and this doll wasn't like this porcelain doll you guys see in the Conjuring movies. It was actually a Raggedy Ann doll. So she's soft, she's plushy, she's not this porcelain doll that's in the movies. That's all fiction. But can you imagine that? A Raggedy Ann doll just kneeling on a chair when it can't kneel on a chair? Okay, that's enough for me to say, peace out, doll, I'm done with you. Whatever. No more. But they didn't. I'm going to do the Wet n Wild little color icon in Sundaze. The girls didn't take much into it. They thought that maybe, it was someone playing a prank on them. They started looking around for, any intruders or, anything missing, or if maybe it was just, a friend playing a prank. And of course, they didn't find anything. So another fun thing that happened to these three is the girls came home from work one night and they found a note made out of parchment paper, which was kind of odd because not only is there a note on your floor, but it was in parchment. It was written on parchment paper. If you guys don't know what parchment paper is, it's what you use when you bake, like cookies and stuff, so it doesn't stick. And Donna thought this was odd because she didn't have parchment paper in the house. It was nowhere around. So they grab the paper and they look at it and it says miss me. Not miss me. Sorry, that's what it says in the movie. The movie it shows miss me. But it actually said help me. And help Lou, which again is Angie's fiance. So after they got these notes, of course they're getting really concerned. If no one's, sneaking in, no one's, hurting the girls or breaking into their home or nothing. They don't know what's going on. Like, why is this happening? So the girls end up getting in touch with a medium. And if you guys don't know what a medium is someone who can can reach out to the spirit world and, talk to them. A lot of times they do this for, people who are paying to contact their grandpa or their mom or, anyone who's passed away and they just want to speak to one more time. I mean, I get it. I would do it, but... So the girls reach out to this medium and they host a seance in their home. And the medium ends up finding out that it was actually a little girl. A little girl spirit. Okay, little girls are cute. We like little girls. I mean, if I saw a little girl spirit, I'd probably be like, aw. You know, it's a little girl. I have 2 of them. Well, the little girl tells the little girl tells the medium that she really likes the girls, she feels safe with them, and she really likes their doll. So right away, the girls feel bad for the little girl. They're like, oh my gosh, you know, this little girl needs us. You know, we're nurses, we want to help this little girl. So they give the little girl permission to move into Annabelle. And I mean, at that point, I mean, I don't blame them, but at the same time, you know, you can't be 100% sure. I mean, I don't know if there are people who, you know, if they're not people who don't believe in that sort of thing, you know, like maybe they could really, you know, bring something back that shouldn't be. I mean, there's some people that do, there's some people that don't. In my home, you know, we had a Bible in every room, and I wasn't allowed to really watch horror movies because my mom always said, you know, I would bring that evil back. But I mean, the girls let the little girl move into the doll. But because they did that, things just get way, way worse for the girls and Lou, you know, worse than what they could ever imagine. So one night, the girls are working, Lou's sleeping, and Lou's in a deep, deep sleep. Dude's crashed out for the count. Well, he wakes up from the sleep, amazingly, and Annabelle is at the end of his bed. The doll, standing at the end of his bed, staring at him. And of course, Lou's freaking the hell out. He's thinking, what's going on? Why is this doll in my room? You know, it's Donna's. So he's freaking out thinking, you know, why is it here? And the doll starts, you know, but Lou can't move. He can't move at all. So the doll starts climbing up Lou's legs, starts going towards him, and getting closer and closer. And Lou has to be crapping his pants by now, because if I see a doll climbing up my leg, I'm crapping twice and dying. But she kept going up his leg. It kept going up his leg, up his chest, up to his neck. And by the time she got up there, she's choking him out by this point. And the doll, you know, had to have been pretty strong to, you know, knock him out, because he blacked out completely. But the next morning he wakes up and, you know, he's thinking to himself, he's like, God, you know I'm not crazy. I know what happened last night. That doll climbed up and choked me out, you know, knocked me out. So Lou's already freaking the hell out by this point. And the girls, you know, they thought it was just this little girl. They didn't think nothing of it. They didn't think, you know, she was dangerous in any way. So the next incident occurs to Lou again. Poor Lou just can't catch a break. He really can't. So Lou is planning on going on some trip for a couple of days. Him and Angie are up, you know, late one night, just figuring out the route he's gonna take, you know, figure out where he's going, you know, all that good stuff that you do before a trip. Well, they hear rustling coming out of Donna's room. So Lou's the man, you know, Lou goes to check it out. He can hear the rustling when he gets close to the room, but he decides to wait until the rustling is over. I gotta learn how to talk and do this. But he waits until the rustling in the room is over to go check out the room. Rustling stops. Lou ends up going in the room, and he sees Annabelle on the corner on the floor. So as he gets closer to Annabelle, he gets that, you know, that gut-wrenching feeling that somebody's behind him. You ever get that? You know, you feel just like something isn't right, like someone's behind you, you look around, no one's there. You know, it's in every good horror movie. So Lou's feeling that, you know, he's thinking something's wrong, but he gets closer to the doll, and then all of a sudden, he's leaned over like this, and he feels this burn on his chest. He lifts up his shirt, and it turns out there's scratches all over his chest. He's got about 7 of them. I think about 4 horizontal and 3 vertical, if I'm not mistaken. So by this point, you know, They're freaking the hell out. Lou's probably freaking out. I mean, the thing's choked him out, and he's gotten claws on his chest. I mean, that's enough for me to say, sorry, babe, I'm out. You know, call me when this thing's gone. But what they decided to do was reach out to the church. They reached out to a nearby church to Father Cook. Now, Father Cook actually reached out to the Warrens themselves because who better to, you know, help with a Inhuman spirit than, you know, Ed and Lorraine Warren. And now, I know a lot of people know about Ed and Lorraine Warren. You know, Lorraine herself is a gifted medium. There's another word for it, but I can't remember it at this point. But anyway, she's a gifted medium. Ed is the only non-ordained demonologist of the church. So they got interested into this because they heard what's going on. You know, they hear of a doll basically hurting this dude and, you know, creeping these girls out. So they go up to the girls' home, you know, to their apartment, and start asking, you know, of the strange occurrences that have been going on, what happened, and the girls are telling their story to Ed and Lorraine Warren. They mention about the medium and how it was a young girl named Annabelle Higgins who lived in their apartment, and she died of a car accident right outside the apartment. You know, they felt bad for the little girl, and they, you know, invited her to stay in the doll. When the Warrens heard this, they were absolutely just astounded that a girl, you know, that they would do that. Well, I mean, I can't really blame the girls, you know, they didn't really know. You know, they thought it was a nice little, you know, nice little spirit girl. So I guess you can't blame them too much, you know. But they tell them about the doll being inhabited. And the Warrens tell them, you know, that God wouldn't let this little ghost doll, you know, this little ghost girl to be in a doll. Apparently that's just not going to happen. Because there are little ghosts like that, but they're not going to be in a doll. So Ed and Lorraine basically let the girls know that, you know, ghosts aren't going to hurt people. They're just, you know, they have unfinished business. But an inhuman spirit's a different story. So it portrayed the doll as this Annabelle girl. And this demon, it didn't want the doll. It wanted to get inside the girls. It was shooting for the girls. Honestly, I'm thinking it's shooting for Lou, because Lou's going through some crap here. But basically, yeah, they tell him, you know, the doll wants you guys. It wants, you know, to inhabit you. It wants to live. And a lot of inhuman spirits do that because they crave life. They want to live again. A lot of times, it's, you know, not nice spirits, and they want to hurt people. And that's what was this case. So they decide to have Father Cook come back over. They bless the house. And they don't bless the house, they bless the people. And they also bless, I can't talk today. I quit. I'm done. So they bless the people and perform an exorcist on the house. They had to really convince the priest to do so. You know, I had to tell them, hey man, this needs to happen. These people are in danger. So the priest blesses all of them, exorcises the house, and Donna gives the Warrens permission to take Annabelle. She says, get this thing the hell out of here. Don't blame the chick. I mean, for everything that's going on, I would say get the hell out of Dodge too. So the Warrens agree to take Annabelle right off the bat. And I want to stop right here because for you who have seen the Annabelle movies, that's, you know, it starts in the beginning. It shows, you know, how the Warrens got Annabelle in the first place. But to say that, you know, it's some satanic cult and, you know, a little girl adapts her body, you know, and takes on the name Annabelle and is adopted and all this stuff that happens in these Annabelle movies is completely fiction. None of it's real. None of it's true. Annabelle herself, she is a real doll. She is really possessed by an inhuman spirit. She does live in the Warrens Museum, the Warrens Occult Museum in Connecticut. That's really true. But the doll has never been with a couple. It's never, you know, been a part of a satanic cult, or, you know, some creepy chick doesn't come into the, you know, into the room like the movie and say, I like your doll. It didn't happen. But apparently, this movie, you know, these movies came out after Ed died, and Lorraine was okay with them making up a story. Basically, she was fine with them using the story of Annabelle, everything about her, and she was totally okay with them, you know, making a fiction movie about it. So anyway, back to the story. So with Ed and Lorraine driving home, things got pretty crazy. I couldn't find much information about the ride home itself, but Ed did tell Lorraine that, you know, it was going to be a rough ride and to prepare. And they eventually had to bless the doll with holy water because a bunch of crazy stuff was going on, and it was making the ride home just very, very, very dangerous for them. So they get the, you know, Annabelle's home with the Warrens. They do get her in a glass case. They write, you know, do not, you know, positively do not open it. They make the warning no. Donna and Lou and Angie go on their merry way. They live their life, and, you know, that's it. You would think. So now the Warrens have this doll. And a bunch of people have gone to see Annabelle. Everyone has been there, you know, except for me. But everyone's been there to see Annabelle, to see what she's about, to go see the Warrens Museum. And one day, actually, I lied, in a documentary, Ed actually mentions that Annabelle is responsible for her death. Apparently the doll didn't stop at Lou. So, you know, like I said, they give tours. I don't know if did I say that? I don't know. I probably did. Probably didn't. Whatever. But, so Ed and Lorraine Warren give tours of their museum. It's a big thing. It's something I want to go do so bad. And I will cry until I do. Definitely a bucket list. But anyway. So they give tours. They let people look at Annabelle, you know, take pictures by the glass. But like everything, working on it. There's a reason why the Warrens have absolutely do not touch on this doll's case. She's inside a box for a reason. Let's keep her there. But on one of the tours one day, you know, Ed is giving the tour. A guy in his motorcycle comes up with his, you know, with his girl. They're listening to the tour. They're looking at all the stuff. And this dude keeps mocking Annabelle. And it happens in every great horror movie. You know what I mean. They mock the doll, you know, or they mock the inhuman spirit. You know, you're nothing. You know, you're not going to do anything. They provoke it. Well, homeboy here starts provoking a doll. Starts telling the doll, you know, oh, you know, you're nothing. You're not real. You know, and he actually tells the doll to give it its best shot. He wants to provoke the doll. He wants the doll, you know, to try to hurt him. nothing happens right now, you know, the dude thinks, alright, you know, this is fake, you know, it's not real, this doll's not going to do anything. And it wouldn't be a story if that's where it ended. So Ed gets pretty tired of this. He gets sick of the dude, you know, mocking Annabelle, messing with her, you know, telling her, you know, basically teasing a doll. He gets pretty upset about it. And obviously kicks the guy out. Tells him, you know, you're not welcome here anymore, never come back, you're done. Well, on the way home, about 3 hours later, the flipping bully guy ends up running into a tree on his motorcycle with his girlfriend on the back. And unfortunately, the guy ended up dying right there at the scene, which is very unfortunate. And his girlfriend was hospitalized for a year. Now, this has never made, that detail has never made it into any of the Annabelle movies, none of the Conjurings, nothing. It's always just been kind of a little bit of, I don't want to say not important detail, because that is an important detail, but they decided not to put it in the movies for some reason. So, in a 1980 interview, Ed actually mentions that Annabelle is responsible for death, and claiming it's that man's death. Whoever, you know, was provoking her, messing with her, she was responsible. And another thing I want to point out is that, you know, even though the Annabelle movies are fictional, you know, it's all just its own story, just based on the doll itself. I like their take on it. I thought they did a really good job. You know, and I thought the movies were actually really, really good. This highlighter sucks. But anyway, so after that, I mean, the Warrens made it a point to never let, you know, if anybody's going to bully like that, it's for their own protection to get them out. That they need to just go, they're not allowed back, because, I mean, the dude was bullying a doll, and look what happened. And Annabelle's not the only doll to do something like this. There's Robert, and he was the inspiration based on Chucky. You know, all of these dolls have hurt people like that in the actual way. And it's just kind of a bummer. And you know, when I heard that part, I felt really bad for the guy, because I don't think he, you know, the dude meant it to, you know, like, be a complete douche about it. I think he was just a non-believer thinking, you know, the doll wasn't real. And because of that, you know, he and his girlfriend obviously paid the price for it. But what kind of bothers me is that, you know, in this documentary, you know, Ed mentions it, but there wasn't really, you know, that Annabelle was responsible for this guy, you know, this guy's doing. But why wouldn't they put that in the movies? I think that's actually a, you know, something that would actually be pretty interesting, like, you know, to put at the beginning of one of the movies, or I don't know, or something. But even though Annabelle is, you know, isn't as big as the movies portray it to be, it's still a very exciting case about it. Just because, I think so at least, just because you don't know how this doll got there, why it's there. You know, obviously we know it wanted to get inside the girls, but how did it get there? Because like I said at the beginning, usually spirits, you know, come from the other side because you mess with a Ouija board, or you mess with, you know, you do a seance. Oh, maybe that's why. No, because it was before that. Like, that's what I've been trying to figure out, is how the, you know, demon, inhuman spirit messed with the girls in the first place. Because they didn't have a seance until after the occurrences started happening. So I thought that was really odd that, you know, a spirit just kind of appeared. And it's, you know, just, hey, I'm going to take this doll and I'm going to use it to get inside your body. I don't get it. But I mean, with all the research I can find about Annabelle, there is nothing about, you know, the Annabelle creation, how, you know, a little orphan girl ends up taking over her body, you know, and acts as Annabelle and becomes part of this, like, sadistic cult and, you know, kills her parents and stuff. All of that is fake. Not one part of that happened. Now, the beginning, where the two nurses, you know, talk about what happened, that's pretty true with the exception of Annabelle, like, tearing up the room. That's not real. And as much as I would like for, you know, all of that to be real, I mean, I still thought they did a really good job with those movies. I mean, I'm a horror buff all on my own, and the one thing I like is, sorry guys, I gotta cheat. The one thing I like is that Annabelle becomes, like, the main center point, even though, you know, her story is obviously a lie. It's not, well, not a lie. It's fake. The ones, you know, the story in the movie is fake. You know, Annabelle's a real doll. But I mean, how cool would it be for her to actually, you know, like, be a part of a cult and, you know, all the stuff that happens in the Annabelle movies themselves. Oh my god, this is awful. I got eyeliner looking like incest sisters or something. Alright, so I had to do my eyeliner and lips off camera just because there were so many distractions and I was having issues and I was just done with it. So I'm just going to use some e.l.f. setting spray really quick. Too close to the face. Alright, so this is the finished look for the day. The highlighter actually worked out a little better than I thought it would. But that is it, and that concludes the story about Annabelle. And I like this story just because not a lot of people know about this, you know, why it happened. They know just kind of the gist or what the movie shows you and whatnot. So I hope this just shed a little bit of light and kind of give you just a little awesome information about it. I thought it was really cool, so I thought it was something that I would share with you guys. Yeah, so if you guys liked it and, you know, want me to talk about something else, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll see you in the next one.